Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. 7 CSU campuses are recognized as doctoral high research institutions by the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education. Students benefit from high-level research, and the Carnegie Classification helps the university attract and retain top-tier faculty. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. The CSU, the nation's largest four-year public university, produces graduates ready to join the workforce and power California's economy. Students have the opportunity to participate in immersive learning experiences that prepare them for success after graduation and leadership roles in their community. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. Hands-on coursework and faculty mentorship are especially important in the field of research. They promote scholarship and creativity among faculty and students. The CSU's 10 multi-campus consortiums provide participants with opportunities to address California's vital needs, including water. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. One agricultural consortium, for example, supports students and faculty adapting cropping systems to climate change. Other research consortiums include those focused on STEMnet, palliative care, biotechnology, marine and desert studies. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. 7 CSU campuses are recognized as doctoral high research institutions by the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education. Students benefit from high-level research, and the Carnegie Classification helps the university attract and retain top-tier faculty. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. The CSU, the nation's largest four-year public university, produces graduates ready to join the workforce and power California's economy. Students have the opportunity to participate in immersive learning experiences that prepare them for success after graduation and leadership roles in their community. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. Hands-on coursework and faculty mentorship are especially important in the field of research. They promote scholarship and creativity among faculty and students. The CSU's 10 multi-campus consortiums provide participants with opportunities to address California's vital needs, including water. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. One agricultural consortium, for example, supports students and faculty adapting cropping systems to climate change. Other research consortiums include those focused on STEMnet, palliative care, biotechnology, marine and desert studies. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. 7 CSU campuses are recognized as doctoral high research institutions by the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education. Students benefit from high-level research, and the Carnegie Classification helps the university attract and retain top-tier faculty. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. The CSU, the nation's largest four-year public university, produces graduates ready to join the workforce and power California's economy. Students have the opportunity to participate in immersive learning experiences that prepare them for success after graduation and leadership roles in their community. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. Hands-on coursework and faculty mentorship are especially important in the field of research. They promote scholarship and creativity among faculty and students. The CSU's 10 multi-campus consortiums provide participants with opportunities to address California's vital needs, including water. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. One agricultural consortium, for example, supports students and faculty adapting cropping systems to climate change. Other research consortiums include those focused on STEM-net, palliative care, biotechnology, marine and desert studies. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. 7 CSU campuses are recognized as doctoral high research institutions by the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education. Students benefit from high-level research, and the Carnegie Classification helps the university attract and retain top-tier faculty. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. The CSU, the nation's largest four-year public university, produces graduates ready to join the workforce and power California's economy. Students have the opportunity to participate in immersive learning experiences that prepare them for success after graduation and leadership roles in their community. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. Hands-on coursework and faculty mentorship are especially important in the field of research. They promote scholarship and creativity among faculty and students. The CSU's 10 multi-campus consortiums provide participants with opportunities to address California's vital needs, including water. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. One agricultural consortium, for example, supports students and faculty adapting cropping systems to climate change. Other research consortiums include those focused on STEM-net, palliative care, biotechnology, marine and desert studies. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. 7 CSU campuses are recognized as doctoral high research institutions by the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education. Students benefit from high-level research, and the Carnegie Classification helps the university attract and retain top-tier faculty. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. The CSU, the nation's largest four-year public university, produces graduates ready to join the workforce and power California's economy. Students have the opportunity to participate in immersive learning experiences that prepare them for success after graduation and leadership roles in their community. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. Hands-on coursework and faculty mentorship are especially important in the field of research. They promote scholarship and creativity among faculty and students. The CSU's 10 multi-campus consortiums provide participants with opportunities to address California's vital needs, including water. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. One agricultural consortium, for example, supports students and faculty adapting cropping systems to climate change. Other research consortiums include those focused on STEM-net, palliative care, biotechnology, marine and desert studies. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. 7 CSU campuses are recognized as doctoral high research institutions by the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education. Students benefit from high-level research, and the Carnegie Classification helps the university attract and retain top-tier faculty. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. The CSU, the nation's largest four-year public university, produces graduates ready to join the workforce and power California's economy. Students have the opportunity to participate in immersive learning experiences that prepare them for success after graduation and leadership roles in their community. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. Hands-on coursework and faculty mentorship are especially important in the field of research. They promote scholarship and creativity among faculty and students. The CSU's 10 multi-campus consortiums provide participants with opportunities to address California's vital needs, including water. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. One agricultural consortium, for example, supports students and faculty adapting cropping systems to climate change. Other research consortiums include those focused on STEMnet, palliative care, biotechnology, marine and desert studies. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. 7 CSU campuses are recognized as doctoral high research institutions by the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education. Students benefit from high-level research, and the Carnegie classification helps the university attract and retain top-tier faculty. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. The CSU, the nation's largest four-year public university, produces graduates ready to join the workforce and power California's economy. Students have the opportunity to participate in immersive learning experiences that prepare them for success after graduation and leadership roles in their community. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. Hands-on coursework and faculty mentorship are especially important in the field of research. They promote scholarship and creativity among faculty and students. The CSU's 10 multi-campus consortiums provide participants with opportunities to address California's vital needs, including water. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. One agricultural consortium, for example, supports students and faculty adapting cropping systems to climate change. Other research consortiums include those focused on STEMnet, palliative care, biotechnology, marine and desert studies. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. 7 CSU campuses are recognized as doctoral high research institutions by the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education. Students benefit from high-level research, and the Carnegie classification helps the university attract and retain top-tier faculty. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. The CSU, the nation's largest four-year public university, produces graduates ready to join the workforce and power California's economy. Students have the opportunity to participate in immersive learning experiences that prepare them for success after graduation and leadership roles in their community. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. Hands-on coursework and faculty mentorship are especially important in the field of research. They promote scholarship and creativity among faculty and students. The CSU's 10 multi-campus consortiums provide participants with opportunities to address California's vital needs, including water. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. One agricultural consortium, for example, supports students and faculty adapting cropping systems to climate change. Other research consortiums include those focused on STEMnet, palliative care, biotechnology, marine and desert studies. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. 7 CSU campuses are recognized as doctoral high research institutions by the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education. Students benefit from high-level research, and the Carnegie Class.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. Before we start our next committee meeting, I would like to turn it over to Trustee Doug Fagan, who would like to make a comment based on what he had said yesterday in a committee meeting. Trustee Fagan.
Thank you, Chair Fong. That's the last time I probably get to say that. So yesterday I mentioned that it would be a good thing for us to recognize the words and deeds of Chancellor Garcia regarding the current controversies and our support for her efforts, and acknowledge what she's doing, what she's done, and we're there. I am told by our chief counsel that we can't do a resolution because it's not on the agenda. But I did want to say to Millie, thank you so much, and we really do appreciate everything you've done, and we're right there with you. Thank you.
Very good, and thank you so much, Trustee Fagan, and I too am in support of that statement. So, I am excited to begin our meeting by informing you that the search committee to identify the next president of California State Fullerton has completed its work, and the next president of Cal State Fullerton is Dr. Ronald S. Rochon. Currently serving as president of the University of Southern Indiana, Dr. Rochon is a champion of student success, access and inclusion, and educational equity. We look forward to learning more about Dr. Rochon momentarily during the upcoming Committee on University and Faculty Personnel. On behalf of this board, we extend our deepest gratitude to Dr. Sylvia Alva. Dr. Alva has led Cal State Fullerton with extraordinary skill, intellect, and compassion as its interim president. Dr. Alva, the broad experience, wisdom, and keen focus on student success that you gained through your decades of service to the CSU at both the university and system levels made you the ideal leader to guide Cal State Fullerton through this transition. We also look forward to celebrating your service more fully at a later date. So on that high note, we will continue our final day of board business for the May 2024 meeting. Trustee Adamson, will you please convene the Committee on University and Faculty Personnel?
Thank you, Chair Fong. Will the meeting on the Committee of University and Faculty Personnel please come to order? Before we proceed, there has been a change in the agenda. Item number 7 on executive compensation will be deferred to our July meeting. Moving on to the consent agenda, there are 3 items on the consent agenda. Does any committee member wish to remove any of those items? Seeing none, may I have a motion on these items?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Then we will move on. Item number 4 is an action item providing executive compensation for the president of California State University, Fullerton. The item was provided in a handout and will be presented by Chancellor Garcia. Chancellor Garcia, please.
Thank you, Trustee Adamson, and good morning. As Chair Fong announced earlier this morning, Dr. Ronald S. Rochon has accepted the position of president of Cal State University, Fullerton. Dr. Rochon currently serves as the president of the University of Southern Indiana, where he has developed a well-deserved reputation as a fierce advocate for educational excellence, access, and equity in all of its dimensions. Under his presidency, Southern Indiana has experienced growth in overall degree completion, at-risk degree completion, STEM degree completion, student persistence, and on-time graduation. And in addition, Dr. Rashan has secured continued and significant state funding for the university, including the largest single capital appropriation in its history. Prior to his role as president, Dr. Rashan served as the university's provost from 2010 to 2018, where he oversaw the revamping of the USI's core curriculum and worked closely with faculty to secure the approval of the institution's second doctoral program in educational leadership. Prior to coming to Southern Indiana, Dr. Rashan served as the Dean of the School of Education and Associate Vice President for Teacher Education, as well as professor at Buffalo State College, Buffalo, New York, part of the State University of New York. In addition, he also served as director and co-founder of the Research Center for Cultural Diversity and Community Renewal at the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse, as well as interim director of the School of Education and associate dean of the university's Health and Physical Education College. A first-generation college graduate, Rashan earned a bachelor's degree in animal science at Tuskegee University. He went on to receive a master's in animal science and a doctorate in educational policy studies from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. In summary, Dr. Rashan is an innovative, results-driven, and student-focused leader, and I have every confidence that he is the right person, right president, at the right time for Cal State Fullerton. And I would be remiss if I did not take the opportunity to echo Chair Fong in offering my heartfelt gratitude and deep appreciation to Dr. Sylvia Alva for her skillful and highly principled leadership of the university. Sylvia, I look forward to more appropriately celebrating your long and distinguished service to the CSU at a later date. Now, on to committee business. I recommend that Dr. Ronald Rashan, as the next president of Cal State Fullerton, receive an annual salary of $498,130 effective July 22, 2024. This represents a 4.6% increase to the salary received by the former president, and with this adjustment, the president's salary reaches the peer group market median. The Fullerton campus has an official university house for the president, and as a condition of employment and for the convenience of the university, Dr. Rashan will be required to live in the residence. Additionally, in accordance with existing policy, a monthly audit allowance of $1,000 and standard benefits for executive classified employees are provided. To members of the committee and the full board, I humbly request your approval of the compensation for the president of Cal State Fullerton as published in the item before you. Trustee Adamson, that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor Garcia, for your presentation. Item 4, the approval of the executive compensation for the president of California State University Fullerton, is an action item before the Committee on University and Faculty Personnel. May I have a preliminary motion from a committee member to approve this item? It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? It appears there are no questions or comments. There has been a motion and a second to approve the item. Reminder, only committee members may vote at this time. All in favor will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions?
Abstain.
The item is approved. Item number 5 is an information item providing the update on civil rights programs and services. The item will be presented by Vice Chancellor and Human Resources, Leora Friedman, and AVC Haley Schwarzkopf.
Thank you, Trustee Adamson.
This is the 5th report to the committee regarding the status and progress of the work being undertaken at the Chancellor's Office and on our campuses to strengthen our civil rights programs and services across the CSU. Associate Vice Chancellor for Civil Rights Programming and Services, Haley Schwarzkopf, will provide the report to the board today.
Thank you, Leora, and good morning to the members of the Board of Trustees. I am honored to provide this update to you today about the work that has been accomplished since our last meeting in May. The primary highlights we will share today include an overview of the campus guidance that we continue to create and issue, an update on the communication strategy we have developed on our civil rights work, an overview of the status of the system-wide director search, and a discussion on the transition to a regional model of leadership, an overview of the recently released Title IX regulations and specific impacts to the CSU system, and a snapshot of pending legislation related to our civil rights work. The Cozen O'Connor and California State Auditor assessments outline more than 150 individual recommendations for the CSU system. Over the past 2 months, we have streamlined the focus of our work to prioritize the deadlines outlined in the California State Audit Report to create momentum and ensure compliance with the upcoming July 2024 deadlines. 12 of the California State Auditor recommendations, also recommended in the Cozen O'Connor assessment, have a July 2024 expected completion date. This chart on the slide before you highlights the current status of each recommendation. 5 of the 12 have been fully implemented ahead of schedule. The remainder are expected to be completed before the end of June and in time for our next report to the California State Auditor. Once these initial milestones are met, the Civil Rights team will recalibrate and outline other milestones for completion by January 2025. We anticipate this is going to be an iterative process until all of the recommendations have been reviewed and implemented. I also wanted to respond to a request from the last board meeting related to specific information and data about our university campus case types, number of cases, and the length of time it is taking to resolve those cases. Once a unified case management system is in place, this data will be readily accessible to the Chancellor's office on a real-time basis. In the meantime, case-related data at each university is formally reported to the Chancellor's office through an annual survey. The Civil Rights team has provided guidance to our campus Title IX coordinators and DHR administrators on how to consistently define and capture this information reported to the Chancellor's office. At our monthly meeting in April, which had all of our Title IX coordinators and DHR administrators present, we provided a specific training on this topic. The survey to collect information for the 2023-2024 annual report is going to be released in July, with a response deadline of October 1. In accordance with the Education Code Section 66282, which just became effective on January 1, 2024, the Chancellor's Office is required to compile and provide a report to the legislature by December 1st. This information will also be shared with the board upon completion. We have been working closely with our communications team and outside consultants to develop a strategic communications plan related to our civil rights work. We have developed and finalized an internal communications protocol and are working towards finalizing resources for external communications. The communications team will also be working with the Chancellor's Civil Rights Oversight Committee to listen to feedback and information that will inform this work. The consultants have been invited to meet with the Oversight Committee in a meeting at a future date. I'm also pleased to report that we have successfully filled several critical roles on the Civil Rights team. We have completed the recruitment for 2 of the 3 vacant system-wide director positions. Jessica Brown began her appointment with the CSU on May 13th. Jessica is a licensed attorney and has served as a civil rights investigator, hearing officer, Title IX coordinator, and consultant for institutions of higher education around the country. She has extensive experience in overseeing campus-wide prevention education, training, policy development, and management of harassment and discrimination grievance processes from intake to investigation through resolution. Lele Yutzi will begin his appointment with the CSU on June 3rd. Lele has spent the last 4 years working as a civil rights attorney with the U.S. Department of Education Office for Civil Rights. In this role, he works collaboratively with educational institutions to achieve institutional compliance with a variety of civil rights laws. He has extensive experience investigating complaints of discrimination, conducting climate assessments, conducting training, providing technical assistance, and implementing OCR resolution agreements. We've also been fortunate to hire 2 administrative support team members, one of whom is still undergoing the background check process, but we are excited to announce the selection of Tabitha Kumathi as our new administrative specialist. Tabitha is an alumnus of Cal State Long Beach and is a well-established front office manager who brings a wealth of experience to our administrative team. What is not reflected in this chart are the additions of 3 new civil rights attorneys in the Office of General Counsel. 2 of the 3 started their tenure with the CSU on May 13th, and a 3rd is expected to join the team in July. Our OGC colleagues have been excellent partners and serve an instrumental role in supporting our civil rights work. We are excited to have Devin Myers, Dylan Saki, and Sophia Khan join the CSU team to support this important work. As we are working to onboard our new system-wide directors, it also provides us an opportunity to review and realign our current university campus assignments for our system-wide directors. The civil rights team will be shifting to a regional model of leadership that aligns with the recommendations in the Cozen Assessment. Each system-wide director currently supports 6 university campuses throughout the state on a temporary basis. As we continue to build our team, and under the regional oversight model, each system-wide director will support 4 to 5 university campuses. The system-wide director for the Chancellor's Office also serves in the capacity as the Title IX coordinator and DHR administrator for the CO. In addition to their campus assignments, the system-wide directors will continue to support the CSU system in many ways. They will continue to lead our non-discrimination policy work group and the Unified Case Management System work group. They will also continue to support our university implementation teams and other initiatives. Each of our system-wide directors will be partnered with a civil rights attorney to support the university campuses in their assigned region. This model is expected to help leverage our resources, training, and best practices, both within the CSU system and throughout the region. In addition, it is expected to help future growth in other critical areas such as hearings and investigations. We are mindful of our need to remain flexible to shift and adjust as the needs and demands of the CSU change. As you can see from this chart, the regions are divided mostly, but not exclusively, by geographical area. We have also attempted to balance the regions with a mix of smaller and larger university campuses. We plan to move to this regional model of leadership beginning June 3rd. With respect to the Title IX regulations, on April the 19th, the Office for Civil Rights under the Department of Education released its long-awaited final Title IX regulations. The 2024 final rule will take effect on August 1, and it amends the 2020 final rule. The CSU will need to update its non-discrimination policy to align with the new regulations before this date. I will also note this will be the 3rd time that we've had to update our non-discrimination policy in the last 4 years. The 2024 final rule is not retroactive, so this means that any conduct that occurs before August 1 will be resolved through our existing procedures, while conduct that occurs on or after this date will be resolved through the new procedures contemplated by the new regulations. Practically speaking, this means that we will be utilizing 2 different versions of the non-discrimination policy for some period of time, depending on when the conduct occurred. Overall, The 2024 final rule is a welcome and positive change for civil rights practitioners. Many of the new regulations bring the national standard closer to alignment with California state law and will help streamline processes for the CSU. For example, a revised and expanded definition of sexual harassment will allow us to move from our existing 3-track resolution system to a more streamlined 2-track resolution system. We expect these changes to be a relief to our students, employees, and practitioners on our university campuses, navigating and facilitating these processes. However, there are a few changes that will require further action on behalf of the CSU. First, the 2024 final rule expands the definition of quid pro quo sexual harassment. It includes agents and other representatives of the university, including, for example, staff in categories such as teaching assistants and volunteer coaches, and also vendors or auxiliary employees, such as food service providers or our university bookstores. The CSU will need to review our standard contracts and provide additional training and guidance in this area. The 2024 final rule also clarifies the expectations for educational institutions related to pregnant and parenting students. The 2024 final rule will now require that any employee who is notified of a student's pregnancy or related condition must promptly provide the student with the contact information of the Title IX coordinator and specific information related to their ability to ensure equal access to the university's programs and services. This change is going to require specific training, guidance, and regular communication to all employees about their obligations under Title IX for pregnant and parenting students. Our non-discrimination policy work group is working on those resources now to be launched to our university campuses in July prior to the August 1 effective date. The 2024 final rule also clarifies that annual Title IX training for all employees is required. Annual training is already required by the CSU under our non-discrimination policy for all employees, so that is very helpful. However, previous versions required that our training requirements only be provided in good faith. This means that we didn't have to track or mandate completion. However, under the new regulations, this is a requirement. It is going to be critical for each university campus and our system leaders to work to achieve 100% completion rates, or as close thereto as possible on an annual basis. The new regulations have been viewed positively by practitioners in the field. We are still reviewing and digesting the 1,500 plus pages of the preamble of the 2024 final rule and anticipate that further information and training will be forthcoming over the summer. We have just over 2 months to update the non-discrimination policy and update our training for our students and employees. In 2024, January 2024, the Assembly Higher Education Committee issued a report called A Call to Action: How Post-Secondary Education Institutions Can Address Discrimination and Provide Education Justice on Campus. Included in the report were 20 recommendations for legislation, which have now been introduced in the form of a dozen bills with the endorsement of the committee. Each bill in the package has now been heard in its first policy committee and is moving along through the legislative process. We have been working closely with our Advocacy and State Relations Office throughout this process to provide feedback and technical amendments to several of the bills. Many of these bills relate to the work that we're already completing or have in progress, such as implementing the recommendations of the state auditor and establishing our system-wide Office for Civil Rights. A few of them are longer term, such as a measure requiring amendments to the annual report to the legislator with a summary of activities undertaken by each of our university campuses and by the system-wide Title IX office, and requiring the California State Auditor to conduct audits of the CSU, UC, and California community colleges' handling of Title IX cases beginning in 2026 and every 3 years thereafter. For the majority of these bills, we have received the amendments we have requested, and we expect to be in a position to take a support or tracking position after we review the final language. We are also working with ASR to prepare we also worked with ASR to prepare a 5-page update to legislative staff members on recent actions taken by the board, the Chancellor's Office, and our universities as it relates to Title IX. Thank you, Trustee Adamson. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Leora and Haley, for that report. Item 5 is an information item. Are there any questions or comments from the board? Yamilet? Trustee Rodriguez.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the presentation. I really appreciate the updates that we're getting at each board meeting to ensure that we are fully committed to having movement on this and ensuring that our folks and stakeholders are safe. I do have a question on the impacts of the new OCR rules. On the annual training requirements, I thought that they were already required. However, I do have a question on, and actually another trustee and I were talking about competency. Like, how do you assess competency when they do this online? Because it's online training, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, the part 2 to this question would be, how do you assess competency for managers who are managing folks? And is there like another level that we could do for managers, potentially an in-person training, or how do we assess that they are knowledgeable of the subject?
Sure. So the online training does include individual assessments throughout to ensure that you have actually reviewed it and understood the material therein. Right now, all of our employees undergo the same training. We would have to work with our Learning and Development Office to create maybe a different training for supervisors and managers. Separately, though, from the Title IX expectations, all of our supervisors under California law are required to undergo a 2-hour sexual harassment training every other year on top of the annual Title IX training. And there is a lot of information in that 2-hour training every other year that does overlap with the Title IX training.
Any other questions? Trustee Fagan?
No, Leora wants to respond.
I'm sorry. Leora, you had more you wanted to add?
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry.
I just wanted to add also that because we are increasing the amount of prevention education work happening on our campuses, this gives, we would expect that the campuses will also provide face-to-face training for supervisors. It will create all kinds of different opportunities for supervisors to get additional training, and we will provide that support. We're going to have somebody in this office who will be helping lead those efforts.
Thank you.
Trustee Fagan.
So I think we're all very impressed by the complexity and the efforts and the results in this most important issue that we are aware of. Maybe you can't answer this question now, but do you have a sense that things have changed since this stuff became more of an issue in the last couple of years? Is there a way to tell that things have gotten better? And how do you plan to quantify, after all this is put into effect, the benefits and the results?
That's an excellent question. So what I will say is it is a little hard to quantify right now because I think we're in the thick of making the changes that are necessary. That being said, we do have a new structure that has been implemented, and our system-wide directors are really helping to provide that day-to-day oversight and guidance and feedback to our campuses. And I do think that that has been creating positive change for the CSU system, and that we will continue to see those changes as we continue to build out our teams. And not just within the civil rights unit, but also with the addition of our civil rights attorneys. We are going to have more resources than we have ever had at any point in time previously. And so moving forward, I do anticipate that this is going to be a welcome and positive change for the CSU. In terms of how do we continue to assess, really that feedback is going to come from our university campuses and the partnerships that we develop on those campuses. It's also going to be important for us to get that feedback from our stakeholders, from our students, from our employees, from our faculty, from supervisors and managers. This is not, a singular issue that one person or one group can address. This is really an issue that's going to take the work of every single member of our CSU campus community, for the Chancellor's Office, to really build a culture change, that culture of care and our trauma-informed approach. And it's going to take all of us to do that. It's not something that happens overnight, but it is work that we're committed to, and I do think that we are starting to see that change already.
Trustee Gilbert-Lori.
Thank you. I just wanted to, Trustee Fagan, maybe add to that question, because I think that is the right question, and that's one of the questions that the Oversight Committee keeps wrestling with also, is how will we know? We're all very anxious as a team here to be able to say it's a new day at the CSU, and that all this work has led to a new feeling on the campus and on the campuses and in the system as a whole. And I guess what I would say is that's the question we keep asking, but it's an unwieldy process, because obviously first we need to comply, right, with every recommendation that was made by the auditors, by Cousin O'Connor. We need to check boxes and then say, are we checking them in a meaningful way that really leads to meaningful change? And so, but some of it does involve implementation first, and then continuing to get feedback from the campuses to say, is this feeling different? Is this feeling better? And that's what I think we keep wrestling with. And if there's a value to the Oversight Committee, I think we're having great conversation that is trying to push in that direction, to keep asking ourselves that question.
Very good. Trustee Ramula.
I just want to say thank you for all of the hard work. Slide 3 is exactly what we were talking about last time, of just, can we get to a simple, how are we doing? And I just want to compare slide 3, though, to exactly what you were just saying, Leslie, which is, this is exactly what we need to know of whether we are taking the appropriate steps to get there. And yet, with a 1,500-page preamble, rules we've changed now 3 times in the last 4 years, and 12 potential new bills, we run the risk of doing all of the right things and still not actually changing the lived experience for students. And I heard you saying that. I just want to repeat that back so that we all know that it is critical that we meet these recommendations, and these are in service to changing the actual lived and felt experience on our campuses relating to this. So once we're through July 24 and all of these are green, the next step is then, I think, for the Oversight Committee and this board to determine what is the ongoing data we would want to see. To then see, are students, faculty, and staff actually reporting that with these new systems in place, we're now seeing more of a culture of care. We're seeing more of a culture of compliance. And so I'm very intrigued about what that real-time data is, and I know you spoke to once this is in place, we'll have that. So I am eager, ready, and excited for that, but think there's a July date, and then there's important, critical stuff for us to stay focused on even after that.
Thank you for your comments. Are there any other questions or comments? This is an information item, and we will continue to have it before this body every time we meet. So thank you all for your input. I hope it's beneficial to staff, and we'll move forward. Yes, there's another question. Trustee?
I don't sit on the committee, but I did have a question about other conduct of concern. I know in the last meeting we said we were going to have a definition or a more defined component to what that is. So if we could get an update on that too, please.
That'll be the next agenda item.
All right, I think we've concluded at this point, so we will move on to item number 6. This is the update on our discussions about, in response to other conduct of concern, that next level below Title IX. This will be presented by Vice Chancellor Leora Friedman and will also be joined by Dr. Sarah Free-Guinness.
Thank you, Trustee Adamson. In the previous agenda item, Associate Vice Chancellor Haley Schwarzkopf reported on the status of the work that we're doing at the Chancellor's Office and at our universities to strengthen civil rights programming and services. I will now share with the board how the CSU is simultaneously working to address other conduct that does not violate CSU's non-discrimination policy, but can nevertheless be hurtful and disrupt the working, learning, or living environment. We refer to this at the CSU as Other Conduct of Concern, or OCC for short. Assessments by the California State Auditor and by Cozen O'Connor called for the CSU to take meaningful action to address other conduct of concern, which, when left unaddressed, can affect our culture and be very demoralizing. The draft guidance that is attachment A to this agenda item is entitled System-Wide Guidance, Responding to Other Conduct of Concern, and it's a first step in fulfilling our commitment to this work. We recognize the importance of issuing written guidance, but I believe that there's also tremendous value in the work we're doing right now to finalize that guidance. We will use this document as the centerpiece at the many tables where we discuss with stakeholders across the CSU what we expect of ourselves and each other as members of this community, and how we will cultivate and maintain a culture founded in respect. Changing culture anywhere, but especially at an institution as large and complex as the CSU, will take a lot of work and time. The work will require effort and collaboration across all CSU universities, divisions, departments, and employee and student groups. But it will also require the community's support and commitment to holding ourselves and each other accountable. My colleague, Dr. Sarah Fried-Guinness, who is the Senior System-Wide Director for Academic and Staff Human Resources, is coordinating this important work. Sarah will now provide context about how we came to the current draft of the guidance, what our challenges and goals are in creating guidance on this topic, and what our next steps will be. She and I will then share and respond to some questions that have already been asked by our stakeholders, including the Chancellor's Civil Rights Oversight Committee and the Academic Senate of the CSU. Sarah, take it away.
Good morning, trustees. I'm pleased to be joining you today and to present an update on the draft guidance developed by an interdepartmental work group at the Chancellor's Office. Please know that while this written guidance is new, Human Resources, Faculty Affairs, and Student Affairs professionals throughout the CSU have long been responsible for this work. This guidance, and in some ways equally importantly, the process by which we develop and finalize the guidance, illustrates the CSU's determination to effecting meaningful change. We are committed to addressing conflict and to maintaining a respectful and productive working and learning environment at the CSU. Culture change is the ultimate goal of this work. We recognize that this will take time and requires commitment and collaboration at all levels of the CSU. We will hold all students, employees, administrators, and senior leaders responsible for behaving and communicating with respect. We recognize that not everyone expresses respect in the same way. As a community, however, we must establish a practice and expectation of communicating with care and with an awareness of how words and actions may affect each other. We can learn to have productive dialogue and to disagree without intentionally causing harm or pain. We can commit to constructively calling each other into conversation and when words or actions challenge this goal. Meaningful change involves raising the awareness of our entire community. The collaboration, feedback, and ideas of stakeholders across the CSU is critical to making the systemic change. The document we present today is just the beginning of this process. We were thoughtful and cognizant of engaging stakeholders as soon as possible and have begun the process in earnest now that we have a substantial starting point in this draft guidance. So with this in mind, I'd like to talk a little bit about the guidance itself. In preparing the guidance, we struggled with a few challenges. First, we need to create a document that speaks to many audiences: students, faculty, staff, guests, volunteers, administrators, senior leaders, you, the Board of Trustees, and the public. The guidance needs to address how every member of our community can express concerns about OCC, to whom that concern should be voiced, who will respond on behalf of the university, and what those responses will look like. We recognize the need for the guidance to be easily understood, which means avoiding legalese. We have already learned from feedback received to date that we have more work to do on this, in this respect. Our stakeholders tell us that it is still too legalistic. We will continue to seek input from our community and will improve the guidance. Another challenge we face is defining OCC, which represents a very broad spectrum of behaviors that range from slights on the one hand, disruptive or hurtful behavior on the other. The definition needs to be concrete enough that people understand what OCC is, but broad enough to encourage engagement in response to behaviors before they escalate. Responses to OCC will, of course, depend on the nature and gravity of the conduct itself, and the guidance needs to make this clear. The CSU's response to OCC cannot infringe upon principles of free speech or academic freedom. These are important tenets of higher education, and the CSU will not allow them to be compromised. As a result, the guidance makes clear that discipline is not always appropriate in response to reports of other conduct of concern. However, just because the behavior is not subject to discipline does not mean that it can be ignored. Mentoring, education, training, or other restorative processes are often effective ways to help people understand the impact of their words and actions on their colleagues and others. These interactions go a long way towards creating a culture of care and accountability. It is important for our community to know that difficult conversations need to and will happen. So, the guidance defines other conduct of concern as conduct that is at odds with CSU's shared values. Other conduct of concerns includes one or more of the following: conduct that is directed at a person because of their protected status, but that does not violate CSU's non-discrimination policy because the conduct is not severe, pervasive, or persistent as defined by CSU policy and federal and state law. Conduct that is materially disruptive to the learning, living, and working environment of the CSU, but for which discipline likely may not be imposed because it constitutes protected speech or conduct. Finally, conduct that is considered abusive as defined by the California Government Code, Section 12950, if you're curious, or otherwise unprofessional or unacceptable behavior, for which discipline may be imposed in accordance with the Education Code, 89535. As we look towards implementation of the guidance, we foresee several additional challenges. For example, we know this work must be done in the context of an under-resourced environment. Our guidance is therefore designed to function within existing workloads and teams. It reiterates the importance of addressing conduct before it escalates and at the most direct level possible. In some instances, and where appropriate, employees and students should be encouraged to talk with each other. Many concerns can be addressed directly through thoughtful and considered conversations. Most commonly, though, other conduct of concern will be addressed by supervisors, managers, deans, and other administrators, and they should be addressed as promptly as possible. These conversations can be difficult, but they are key to changing culture. We, primarily through Human Resources and Student Affairs, will provide training, coaching, and other support to help our community members learn to have these conversations and to do so respectfully. In more complex situations, or where past conversations have been unproductive, Human Resources, Faculty Affairs, and Student Affairs professionals, or a combination thereof, may need to lead or facilitate these discussions. These resources will continue to be available to our students, employees, and leadership. Collaboration will be critical in dealing with more egregious concerns and those that involve multiple community groups. How OCC is addressed, by whom, will depend on the scale, egregiousness, and impact of the behavior. There is not just one roadmap, because appropriate responses to an incident will depend on the specific circumstances of that instance of OCC. We can, however, in guidance and training, give examples of other conduct of concern and how to respond to those scenarios. We will also create a support structure to ensure shared knowledge and lessons learned across the system. To this end, and as we look towards next steps, a few goals stand out. Building out an affinity group for the professionals who already do this work will be a priority. In addition, we will further work to develop training materials and opportunities for professional development. We already have several training sessions planned between now and December 2024, including sessions with new deans, at the annual labor conference with the AVPs of Faculty and Human Resources, and with department chairs, and we intend for this list to grow. Most importantly, and most immediately, we are currently focused on listening carefully to stakeholders' feedback. This guidance has already been circulated widely to presidents, provosts, vice presidents, Human Resources and Faculty Affairs administrators, senior diversity officers, chief administrative business officers, the Academic Senate, and the California State Student Association, and our union partners. We now look forward to getting input from them, which will inform not only the written guidance, but also, and perhaps most importantly, the approach we will take in the coming months and years to implement the guidance and realize the culture we envision for CSU. We are working on a timeline. We must release the guidance to the California State Auditor by January of 2025. But this is a living and breathing document, and the work of change will be ongoing. The draft guidance shared with you today is a start, but the real work will require ongoing education, training, and mentoring, increased conflict management skills at all levels, and an ongoing commitment and direct action. Our goals are to restore trust, ensure a culture of care and accountability at the CSU, and to make our campuses safer and healthier for our employees, students, and other members of our university's communities. Vice Chancellor Friedman and I will now share some of the questions we have received to date from stakeholders, including the Chancellor's Civil Rights Oversight Committee and the Academic Senate. I will pose the questions to Vice Chancellor Friedman for her response. So, Vice Chancellor Friedman, stakeholders have noted that the guidance appears to be outlining traditional HR practices. Is there anything new here? If not, how helpful will it be for our community?
Well, the practices are not new, but the recent assessments reinforce what we've heard from students, staff, faculty, and other stakeholders that we're not employing these practices with enough consistency across the CSU. The guidance makes explicit our community expectations that we'll treat each other with respect and that we will commit to holding ourselves and each other accountable.
This guidance encourages employees and students to try to address OCC with each other in the first instance. Isn't that the responsibility of human resources, faculty affairs, and student conduct?
Well, what we call other conduct of concern includes a very broad spectrum of behavior ranging from thoughtless or one-off remarks to rude, bullying behavior. How it should be addressed will depend on the gravity of the conduct, the sensitivities and perspective of the people who are involved, and other factors. Whenever possible, the individuals directly involved in an incident should try to work it out with each other. But if that's not realistic, because of power dynamics, personalities, or for other reasons, then supervisors, human resources, faculty affairs, and student affairs will assist.
This guidance seems to impinge on the academic freedom of faculty members. How are you going to ensure that doesn't happen?
We protect academic freedom and free speech by first raising awareness of these principles. If conduct that is protected by free speech or academic freedom is experienced by a member of our community as harmful or offensive, it's important to acknowledge the rights of the speaker and the experience of the person who was negatively impacted. Awareness and understanding of rights and impacts go a long way towards helping people coexist in a respectful environment, even if they disagree. And even if the protected speech or conduct cannot be stopped, we can provide support to the people who are impacted by acknowledging their experience and identifying practical strategies to minimize the impact.
You talk about the importance of training and prevention work. Isn't that unrealistic given our limited resources?
I acknowledge that we have a lot of hard work to do. We're committed in system-wide HR to provide as much resources and support to our universities as we can through Train the Trainer initiatives and consultations. We will also be building out resources to support employees who work in employee relations and conflict resolution.
How do you expect to change culture with what seems to be such amorphous guidance? It's based on values that everyone does not necessarily share, and it doesn't establish consequences.
That's very true. And in some ways, this work is even harder than our Title IX and other civil rights work because it's so much less codified and prescribed. There's no prescriptive complaint and resolution process here, nor is there always a clear mechanism for holding people accountable. But that cannot and will not stop us from working every day to foster the culture of respect and care that is the fabric of the CSU.
What are the main criteria used to assess whether conduct should be addressed through non-disciplinary measures, such as mentoring or training, versus formal disciplinary action?
Well, there's no hardline rule. But if a CSU policy has been violated, in most cases the result will be discipline or another form of corrective action. Likewise, egregious conduct and patterns of repeated conduct are generally subject to corrective action or discipline. One-off conduct, slights, insensitive behavior, and other what I call microconduct is generally not subject to discipline unless, of course, a pattern develops over time. In those cases, a non-disciplinary response, such as coaching, mentoring, or training, will be more appropriate. If a student engages in other conduct of concern, the consequences will be determined by student affairs, regardless of whether the conduct violates the student conduct code.
Last question. Can you provide more details on the supportive measures that will be available for individuals who experience other conduct of concern and how these measures will be implemented?
Supportive measures are an important way to communicate and express a culture of care. They're intended to be reasonable measures designed to help mitigate the effects of conduct of concern that can't otherwise be prevented. Examples of these measures include facilitating communication between the impacted parties and establishing mutual expectations, helping the impacted party identify strategies for minimizing their exposure to the conduct, or referrals to employee assistance programs or student counseling services or other support services. We hope that this question and answer phase helped to answer some of the things that you're thinking about, but Trustee Adamson, we are happy to answer any more questions from the board, and this concludes our report.
Thank you. Item 6 is an information item. Are there questions or comments from the board? Trustee Gilbert-Lorry.
Thank you, and thanks for the presentation. I think that was really clarifying and helpful, and it is something that our committee spent almost our entire last session talking about this area. And so we have weighed in quite a bit, but I just want to emphasize that I think the art here is in right up front clarifying that there is a link for us to have the kind of culture we want based on our thorough review of our Title IX practices. We discovered that there is this other area of conduct that we also need to address, and that we expect that in most situations, as you mentioned, people will resolve their own conflict. But where that, so you know, the rub is we have Title IX, and we don't want an incredibly litigious world. We don't want to encourage that when people have hurt feelings or feel that something is slightly unfair, that they, you know, that they immediately feel that they have to run to someone on campus. That we give people the tools to resolve their own conflict. But in the middle, what's new? And I think that's the important thing for us to keep working on is resources available. You know, where this happens, we do this. Where this happens, we do that. And so that we give people their own roadmaps on campuses to resolving the kinds of things that get in the way of us learning, of us going to work, of us feeling safe. And so I just think we have work to do, and that's what the committee wrestled with. How do we make sure that anytime someone hits someone, you know, with their elbow by mistake, or, you know, has a lot of things feel unfair or feel that they're, you know, I get my feelings hurt every day by something, but that doesn't mean that there is someone else who has to resolve that. So I think that that's the work here, is how do we make people feel that they're in a caring, safe culture. And I think what everybody's waiting to hear from us is, with all this work we've done for these years on our Title IX work, what have we been able to learn from that we're bringing to just building a fuller culture in general? I think the more we could say that in 2 paragraphs of a statement of purpose of a new day here, the better.
Thank you for those comments. Any other comments? Trustee Lopez.
Thank you, and thank you for this, and thank you for naming this issue specifically and speaking to the issues very clearly and very specifically, and the complexity about it. I'm going to walk on thin ice here a little bit. I think this is really important to do at every level. And I want, and one thing that strikes me about this is sitting in this board for, I don't know, 2 years or however long I've been here, I have consistently seen what I would call other conduct of concern in the public comment, encouraged and fomented somewhere outside. And I don't know how to name that, but I want to call it out as well, because I think that it applies to everybody in every instance, not just in the classroom or on the campus, but in sense, public decorum. And so I wanted to name that specifically.
Thank you.
Trustee, could I just comment on that?
Sure, absolutely, you may.
Thank you, Trustee Lopez. I agree with you. I do think that our guidance recognizes that there's only so much we can do. People do have free speech rights to express their anger, hatred, and that is protected speech. However, I've noticed that on some campuses, I would say SLO and also at Sonoma State, where they have Seawolf expectations and commitments, the community commits to sort of expectations about how they will behave towards each other. And I would like to see us bring that to the CSU at large, because although we can't force people to abide by them, I think by calling them out and making them express, I was really impressed at Sonoma State to see how much people honor those commitments despite disagreement.
Any other comments or questions? If not, then we will proceed to the final item. Thank you very much for your presentation and all the work that you're doing. I know how complicated we've had meetings back and forth by phone, and thank you so very much for all your work on this. Item 8 is an action item providing executive compensation, the triennial performance review equity adjustment. This agenda item was posted on Tuesday and has also been provided to you in a handout this morning. It will be presented by Chancellor Garcia. Chancellor, we'd love to hear from you at this time.
Thank you, Trustee Adamson. Shortly, I will be recommending compensation adjustment for 4 university presidents. I would first like to point out that the policy changes presented today in items 2 and 3, the compensation and presidential review policies, do not affect the equity adjustments I am recommending in this item. As the committee and full board will recall, in November 2019, the board adopted a policy to begin to gradually adjust presidential salaries over time in order to address inequities we have identified in our president's pay. The policy provides that each president's compensation is to be evaluated concurrent with their regularly scheduled triennial performance reviews. If an increase is warranted based on the president's performance, salary increases will be approved using a board-approved formula based on established market medians, with the goal of incrementally aligning CSU presidential salaries with the median salary of presidents at comparable institutions. With today's recommended action, we continue to address this important issue and honor our commitment. As presented in the material before you, Year 1 of the salary assessment period provides for an increase of up to the peer group median, but not greater than 10%. Of the 4 presidential salary assessments we are reviewing today, 3 lag the peer group median by more than 10%. President Jimenez Sandoval currently lags the peer group median by nearly 28%. President Sandin by 14%, and President Beck by 12%. Therefore, as outlined in the governing policy, I am recommending a 10% equity adjustment for year 1 of their salary adjustment period for these presidents. President Yao will reach the peer group median with the recommended 2.22% adjustment. To members of the committee and full board, I ask for your approval to implement the compensation adjustments and final salaries as published in item 8 before you. That is $410,090 for President Jimenez Sandoval, $458,134 for President Sandin, $489,576 for President Beck, and $370,251 for President Yao. Trustee Adamson, that concludes my presentation.
Item 8, the approval of executive compensation triennial performance review equity adjustment, is an action item before the Committee on University and Faculty Personnel. May I have a preliminary motion from a committee? Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion or questions on the recommendation? Lieutenant Governor?
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for the presentation. I always think it's important to call out that while it is our responsibility at this level to determine the salaries and the benefits packages for the president, that we recognize that we get very emotional and very talk about equity and parity, but we're talking about salaries that are $300,000 to $400,000 salaries. And I think we have to be sensitive to the fact that if you're talking about equity and compensation, that we have thousands of employees that struggle to keep their head above the poverty line. And so I just think that as we're contemplating this, and frankly, I intend to support it, I also think it's important that we all recognize that the outside world looks at us being indignant of not paying our president enough when we are talking about $400,000 salaries, when again there are people who are sleeping in their cars and getting up in the morning and going to work, and there are some pretty serious equity issues around that as well.
Thank you for those comments. Vice Chair Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I received the comments and I acknowledge the comments that were just made. If this gets to the board, I'm going to vote in favor of it. And the reason I am is I received that, and I come from a family that would have thought this amount of money to do almost anything would be, you just couldn't imagine it. At the same time, we have to remember, in my view, that this system is the largest, most important university system in America. Executive leadership and trying to attract executive leadership is a competitive process. I want to be clear that all we're talking about here is bringing a salary, and I'm not going to vote for a salary increase for a particular person unless it's consistent with our policy. What we're talking about here is leveling the salary for these positions based upon being competitive with other universities of similar nature in the United States. That's all we're doing. That's all I want to do if I get the opportunity to vote for this. So, I just want to say, Lieutenant Governor, I receive what you're saying completely. I do believe, though, the board should move affirmatively on this proposal.
Thank you. Trustee Fagan?
I, too, agree with the Lieutenant Governor's concerns. When I was first confirmed on this board 11 years ago, this topic was one of the biggest topics of the Senate Rules Committee, and there was some agreement that at the time $300,000, $350,000 would be an astounding amount for most people walking down the street on Sacramento's street. It would be amazing. At the same time, these are the top professionals, and a concern was that there was no mechanism to adjust salaries for our presidents, unlike every other employee. And there are stories about presidents going 12 years, 15 years with no salary increase. And I think a lot of people would say that's unfair. So one thing that is important about this is it's not just trying to, Jerry Brown used to talk about a salary arms race, and I sympathize with that. I don't personally think that we want to get into a arms race on salary with other institutions. We raise ours to meet them, then they raise theirs to meet us, and that's an issue of concern. But one of the issues on this is performance-based. It's not just about the median, and it's specifically, and that's why it's tied to the results of triennial reviews of these presidents. So yeah, it's including the issue of what's fair compared to other schools, but it's also, are you doing a good job? And and that's a measure that I think should be rewarded. And I, in the past, and probably in the future, have been somewhat negative sometimes on these issues. But that's why I intend to vote for it. This is in part a performance review issue, and these people deserve that based on that.
Thank you. Trustee Gilbert-Lorry.
Thank you. I also intend to vote yes on this when it comes to the board. And the only comment I want to add, because I do really respect and appreciate the Lieutenant Governor's comments regarding this. And when we think about equity, which I think we all embody as board members, as trustees of this board, there are a lot of ways to parse equity, right? Like what is equitable when you're looking at president's salary compared to faculty members' salaries, compared to staff members' salaries. But I think we also have to, compared to our non-salaries, right? And we all feel good about our non-salaries because that's what none of us are paid. If some of us were paid and others weren't paid, we might feel that were inequitable. And I think we have one primary job here is my main point, which is to make sure that we shepherd a top university system. And the state of California should not be in the higher education business if we're not going to have great universities. And we can't have a great university system without paying our presidents market value. We just can't be in that business. So I think that our presidents, I'm sure, would be happy to adjust their salary if that's what presidents were doing throughout the country. But we don't need to be at the forefront of that movement given the housing prices and the cost of living in this state. So I think that we just owe it. It is our responsibility to make sure we could attract top talent and keep our university moving forward.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Trustee Barr.
Thank you. I also will be supporting this, and I just wanted to give a perspective as a first gen and kind of what my family would view this as. So for us and our family, the point of coming to this country is the land of opportunity, that you can have nothing and one day be something. And I was raised with the belief that if you work hard, you're rewarded for it. And I think that is what America is about. And our presidents have worked hard. They've put in the hours, they've put in the time, they've excelled, they've gone to school, they've graduated, they've worked hard, they're top of the top, and that should be rewarded. And so when I look at this, that's the lens I look at it as. I look at it as somebody, we want our children to see someday if you work hard, this is what you can achieve, and you're compensated because of that. So I think that's the angle I look at when I think about this raise, and I just wanted to share that perspective. Thank you.
Trustee Lopez.
Thank you. And I too intend to vote for this when it comes before the board. And I share the Lieutenant Governor's broad sentiments and concerns. But in addition to what Trustee Raj said about working hard, I just want to also be explicit about the level of complexity and judgment and responsibility and leadership that we're paying for, right? This is not an easy combination. It's not an easy job. And finding the right person, as we have found, as we've gone through how many presidential recruitments in the last, certainly several, 2 hands worth at least, 17, whatever. It's very hard to find the right person for the jobs every time. It is a challenge to make sure that we get the best, And it's not, for these people, it's not all about compensation, but we have to express and show what we consider to be the value of that job and pay them for what we expect from them. And that's where the performance comes in. We expect them to do the job. We assess them, and if they're doing this very complex, challenging job, then we should pay for that.
Trustee Vargas.
I'm just looking forward to all the messages I'll be getting on Instagram about this and the vote that we're about to make, and to say that to the students who will be messaging me about it, I intend to vote for this as well, because people should be paid what they're worth. People should be paid what they're worth, in the same way that I hope that when we graduate from this system, as I did in 2004, 20 years ago this summer, from San Francisco State University, I have been able to demand the salary and the compensation that I'm worth. I want for these presidents the same thing that I would want for our students, right? And for anybody who graduates from our system. That's the value that I take on it.
Are there any other questions or comments? I might just add that unlike many that get to go home at 5 o'clock and not have to address what they do until 8 o'clock the next morning, our presidents work 24/7, and that is something that we need to keep in mind as we look at the way we compensate them. It appears there are no other questions or comments. There is a motion and a second to approve this item. A reminder that only committee members may vote at this time. Committee members, all in favor will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? This item is approved. Chair Fong, this concludes my chairmanship of the business on the Committee of University and Faculty Personnel. Good luck going forward.
Thank you so very much, Trustee Adamson. We will now take a brief break and return at 9:30 a.m. Thank you.
University produces graduates ready to join the workforce and power California's economy. Students have the opportunity to participate in immersive learning experiences that prepare them for success after graduation and leadership roles in their community. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. Hands-on coursework and faculty mentorship are especially important in the field of research. They promote scholarship and creativity among faculty and students. The CSU's 10 multi-campus consortiums provide participants with opportunities to address California's vital needs, including water. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. One agricultural consortium, for example, supports students and faculty adapting cropping systems to climate change. Other research consortiums include those focused on STEMnet, palliative care, biotechnology, marine, and desert studies. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. 7 CSU campuses are recognized as doctoral high research institutions by the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education. Students benefit from high-level research, and the Carnegie classification helps the university attract and retain top-tier faculty. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. The CSU, the nation's largest four-year public university, produces graduates ready to join the workforce and power California's economy. Students have the opportunity to participate in immersive learning experiences that prepare them for success after graduation and leadership roles in their community. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. Hands-on coursework and faculty mentorship are especially important in the field of research. They promote scholarship and creativity among faculty and students. The CSU's 10 multi-campus consortiums provide participants with opportunities to address California's vital needs, including water. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. One agricultural consortium, for example, supports students and faculty adapting cropping systems to climate change. Other research consortiums include those focused on STEMnet, palliative care, biotechnology, marine and desert studies. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. 7 CSU campuses are recognized as doctoral high research institutions by the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education. Students benefit from high-level research, and the Carnegie Classification helps the university attract and retain top-tier faculty. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. The CSU, the nation's largest four-year public university, produces graduates ready to join the workforce and power California's economy. Students have the opportunity to participate in immersive learning experiences that prepare them for success after graduation and leadership roles in their community. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. Hands-on coursework and faculty mentorship are especially important in the field of research. They promote scholarship and creativity among faculty and students. The CSU's 10 multi-campus consortiums provide participants with opportunities to address California's vital needs, including water. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. One agricultural consortium, for example, supports students and faculty adapting cropping systems to climate change. Other research consortiums include those focused on STEMnet, palliative care, biotechnology, marine and desert studies. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. 7 CSU campuses are recognized as doctoral high research institutions by the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education. Students benefit from high-level research, and the Carnegie Classification helps the university attract and retain top-tier faculty. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. The CSU, the nation's largest four-year public university, produces graduates ready to join the workforce and power California's economy. Students have the opportunity to participate in immersive learning experiences that prepare them for success after graduation and leadership roles in their community. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. Hands-on coursework and faculty mentorship are especially important in the field of research. They promote scholarship and creativity among faculty and students. The CSU's 10 multi-campus consortiums provide participants with opportunities to address California's vital needs, including water. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. One agricultural consortium, for example, supports students and faculty adapting cropping systems to climate change. Other research consortiums include those focused on STEMnet, palliative care, biotechnology, marine and desert studies. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. 7 CSU campuses are recognized as doctoral high research institutions by the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education. Students benefit from high-level research, and the Carnegie Classification helps the university attract and retain top-tier faculty. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. The CSU, the nation's largest four-year public university, produces graduates ready to join the workforce and power California's economy. Students have the opportunity to participate in immersive learning experiences that prepare them for success after graduation and leadership roles in their community. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. Hands-on coursework and faculty mentorship are especially important in the field of research. They promote scholarship and creativity among faculty and students. The CSU's 10 multi-campus consortiums provide participants with opportunities to address California's vital needs, including water. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. One agricultural consortium, for example, supports students and faculty adapting cropping systems to climate change. Other research consortiums include those focused on STEMnet, palliative care, biotechnology, marine and desert studies. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. 7 CSU campuses are recognized as doctoral high research institutions by the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education. Students benefit from high-level research, and the Carnegie Classification helps the university attract and retain top-tier faculty. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. The CSU, the nation's largest four-year public university, produces graduates ready to join the workforce and power California's economy. Students have the opportunity to participate in immersive learning experiences that prepare them for success after graduation and leadership roles in their community. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. Hands-on coursework and faculty mentorship are especially important in the field of research. They promote scholarship and creativity among faculty and students. The CSU's 10 multi-campus consortiums provide participants with opportunities to address California's vital needs, including water. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. One agricultural consortium, for example, supports students and faculty adapting cropping systems to climate change. Other research consortiums include those focused on STEMnet, palliative care, biotechnology, marine and desert studies. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. 7 CSU campuses are recognized as doctoral high research institutions by the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education. Students benefit from high-level research, and the Carnegie Classification helps the university attract and retain top-tier faculty. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. The CSU, the nation's largest four-year public university, produces graduates ready to join the workforce and power California's economy. Students have the opportunity to participate in immersive learning experiences that prepare them for success after graduation and leadership roles in their community. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. Hands-on coursework and faculty mentorship are especially important in the field of research. They promote scholarship and creativity among faculty and students. The CSU's 10 multi-campus consortiums provide participants with opportunities to address California's vital needs, including water. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. One agricultural consortium, for example, supports students and faculty adapting cropping systems to climate change. Other research consortiums include those focused on STEMnet, palliative care, biotechnology, marine and desert studies. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. 7 CSU campuses are recognized as doctoral high research institutions by the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education. Students benefit from high-level research, and the Carnegie Classification helps the university attract and retain top-tier faculty. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. The CSU, the nation's largest four-year public university, produces graduates ready to join the workforce and power California's economy. Students have the opportunity to participate in immersive learning experiences that prepare them for success after graduation and leadership roles in their community. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. Hands-on coursework and faculty mentorship are especially important in the field of research. They promote scholarship and creativity among faculty and students. The CSU's 10 multi-campus consortiums provide participants with opportunities to address California's vital needs, including water. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. One agricultural consortium, for example, supports students and faculty adapting cropping systems to climate change. Other research consortiums include those focused on STEMnet, palliative care, biotechnology, marine and desert studies. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. 7 CSU campuses are recognized as doctoral high research institutions by the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education. Students benefit from high-level research, and the Carnegie Classification helps the university attract and retain top-tier faculty. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. The CSU, the nation's largest four-year public university, produces graduates ready to join the workforce and power California's economy. Students have the opportunity to participate in immersive learning experiences that prepare them for success after graduation and leadership roles in their community. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. Hands-on coursework and faculty mentorship are especially important in the field of research. They promote scholarship and creativity among faculty and students. The CSU's 10 multi-campus consortiums provide participants with opportunities to address California's vital needs, including water. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. One agricultural consortium, for example, supports students and faculty adapting cropping systems to climate change. Other research consortiums include those focused on STEMnet, palliative care, biotechnology, marine and desert studies. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. 7 CSU campuses are recognized as doctoral high research institutions by the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education. Students benefit from high-level research, and the Carnegie Classification helps the university attract and retain top-tier faculty. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. The CSU, the nation's largest four-year public university, produces graduates ready to join the workforce and power California's economy. Students have the opportunity to participate in immersive learning experiences that prepare them for success after graduation and leadership roles in their community. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. Hands-on coursework and faculty mentorship are especially important in the field of research. They promote scholarship and creativity among faculty and students. The CSU's 10 multi-campus consortiums provide participants with opportunities to address California's vital needs, including water. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. One agricultural consortium, for example, supports students and faculty adapting cropping systems to climate change. Other research consortiums include those focused on STEMnet, palliative care, biotechnology, marine and desert studies. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. 7 CSU campuses are recognized as doctoral high research institutions by the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education. Students benefit from high-level research, and the Carnegie Classification helps the university attract and retain top-tier faculty. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. The CSU, the nation's largest four-year public university, produces...
Thank you. We are back at this time. Will the meeting of the Board of Trustees for the California State University please come to order? Ms. Corral, please call the roll.
Trustee Adamson?
Still here.
Trustee Aguilar-Cruz? Trustee Arambula?
Here.
Trustee Brar? Here. Vice Chair Clark?
Present.
Trustee Fagan?
Here.
Trustee Furstenberg?
Here.
Chair Fong?
Here.
Chancellor Garcia?
Aquí.
Trustee Ghilarducci?
Present.
Trustee Gilbert-Lorry? Trustee Kimbell?
Here.
Lieutenant Governor Kounalakis?
Present.
Trustee Lopez?
Here.
Trustee McGrory? Trustee Molina-Mancio? Governor Newsom? Trustee Ortiz-Morfett?
Here.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Here.
Speaker Rivas? Trustee Steinhauser?
Here.
Superintendent Thurmond? Trustee Vargas?
Oh, here.
Trustee Melikar?
I'm here.
Chair Fong, we have a quorum.
Thank you very much, Ms. Corral. Before we move on to the consent agenda, I am absolutely delighted to introduce our second featured university for the May meeting and the final featured university video. Please enjoy this video highlighting Sonoma State University, which has established a thriving learning community for students from all walks of life on one of the most beautiful campuses in our state and indeed our nation. Please play the video.
Sonoma State University is an inclusive learning community where students form close connections with faculty, staff, and their peers. The only four-year public college in the North Bay, Sonoma State is blessed with a campus community that embraces and engages with the environment around us. Sonoma State plays a key role in the communities it serves, hosting forums and driving important discussions about the issues that matter.
Sonoma State is home to the Wine Business Institute, which provides cutting-edge research that informs industry best practices and offers graduate degrees and certifications in wine management. Surrounded by the foothills of Sonoma County, the Green Music Center is a focal point for the arts and education in the region, where world-renowned artists perform and engage with our students.
The university also is an economic force and provides career-ready graduates to businesses, organizations, and government. We're ranked among the top college campuses in California, in the heart of Sonoma County, 50 miles from San Francisco, and an easy drive to the coast and the Redwoods. As an institution committed to educational access, Sonoma State has been a Hispanic-serving institution since 2017 and was named the Cal State Equity Champion in 2023. 47% of students will be the first in their families to graduate from a four-year university. SSU also has the #2 ranking for transfer student graduation rate in the entire 23-campus CSU system. With 45 majors, 42 minors, and 12 graduate programs, we've always got academics on the mind. But we know how to have fun, too. At Sonoma State, smaller class sizes and a family atmosphere mean living, learning, and working are done with a personal approach.
The first thing that pops into my mind thinking about Sonoma State is how personable and small the campus is.
I like the classroom sizes, how they're not too big but not too small. If I have a question, I can just ask, and that they're willing to help me When I think about the relationships that I've built with the faculty within the nursing program, I think about how they have provided hands-on learning and quality education.
It warms my heart knowing that the people here at Sonoma State really care for students, and the people that I surround myself with really do go the extra mile to make sure that you have a plan after graduating. The scenery is great, the dorms are great, the parking is great. Everyone here will admire you. Everyone here will give you amazing opportunities. Sonoma State as a whole is a great school that if you really want to get involved and you really want people to know who you are at the end of your time here, Sonoma State is the place for you.
That personal approach and sense of teamwork create an educational environment like no other.
So all the faculty here, we work together really well, and everybody is really looking out for the best interests of every student.
I love interacting with students. I love to get students engaged in the course material.
We have state-of-the-art facilities to support a lot of molecular cell biology and other fields. Because there is a smaller student-to-faculty ratio, students have increased accessibility to the state-of-the-art equipment. You know, you are paying for really a private school education, but at a fraction of the cost.
We have administrators that are committed to actually accept students, retain them, and graduate them. Faculty are here to prepare students to actually find their calling and their passion, and to really have students be prepared so they can actually go into their future careers and excel in those careers.
It's been a great place to work. I've been here for 10 years. I've been able to work with students, staff, and faculty across different identities, different backgrounds. We have clubs, we have organizations and experiences that are really run by students. The beautiful thing about Sonoma State is that if you don't see it, you have the ability to create it. And so if you're looking to leave a mark and to truly define an experience, this is the place for you. You can truly be yourself, you're accepted. It's a place that values who you are and what you bring to the table. That's Sonoma State University.
Sonoma State University, where we're proud to say we take education personally.
Thank you to the team at Sonoma State University for that inspiring video, which so wonderfully illustrates your proud reputation as a small campus with big ideas. Well done. That concludes the 23 videos highlighting each of our 23 universities. It has been an incredible last 2 years, and I want to thank each of the 23 universities, their 23 presidents. Thank you so much, your team, for creating these absolutely wonderful videos showcasing your extraordinary and distinctive campuses. I also sincerely want to thank Karen Laird, Interim Senior Director of Marketing Communications, and Raquel Griffiths, Director of Production, as well as their teams for their outstanding work in collaborating with each of our universities in developing this video series. And as the official end of my tenure nears, it is fitting that we close our video series with a compilation of the 23 university videos that have been played during the board meetings these past 2 years. Ladies and gentlemen, good people, it is my honor to present the 23 universities of the California State University System. Please play the video.
From the redwoods of Humboldt to the beaches of San Diego, the California State University drives the heartbeat of the Golden State, intellectually, culturally, and economically.
As the nation's most preeminent public university system, we are 23 world-changing universities, 4,000 career-defining majors, and one mission above all, for all, unleashing potential.
It's what makes the CSU the educational powerhouse for America's new majority and the leading model for inclusive excellence. We are the launchpad for first-generation dreamers and ambitious achievers.
Where more Californians from every walk of life receive one of the most exceptional educations in the land for one of the most affordable tuitions in the country.
Every year, nearly 450,000 students call the CSU home.
But the experience is more than classes and books. The California State University is a world of eye-opening discoveries, spontaneous adventures, and lifelong connections.
Where passion meets purpose. Where students propel the world forward and themselves upward. Where tomorrow isn't just planned, it's promised for nearly 130,000 CSU graduates every year.
The innovators and caretakers who shape the future. Leaders and barrier breakers who grow our legacy.
The new torchbearers who join the ranks of our alumni.
More than 4 million strong who enrich our society, strengthen our democracy, and shine as beacons of pride and prosperity.
For their families, their communities, California, the nation, and the world.
Well, each of these inspiring videos is now available for viewing on the California State University YouTube channel, and we look forward to sharing them far and wide, not only as a vital recruitment tool, but to showcase the diversity, strength, and impact of the CSU system. And now, moving on to the consent agenda. All items requiring full board approval are listed on the consent agenda. Does any trustee wish to remove any items from the consent agenda?
Yes. I can't remember the number. Item 4 on...
Okay. I believe that Trustee Fagan wishes to remove from the consent agenda item 4 from the university faculty and personnel
yeah, that
committee,
one.
correct? Yes.
Yeah.
With regard to the salary for the president of Cal State Fullerton.
Correct.
So before we will consider that item, we will may I have a motion to approve the remaining items on the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second. Thank you. Is there any discussion? There has been a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Ms. Corral, will you please take a roll call vote?
Trustee Allison.
Yes.
Trustee Arambula.
Yes.
Trustee Brar.
Yes.
Vice Chair Clark.
Yes.
Trustee Fagan.
Yes.
Trustee Furstenberg.
Yes.
Chair Fong.
Yes.
Chancellor Garcia.
Yes.
Trustee Ghilarducci.
Yes.
Trustee Gilbert Lori.
Yes.
Trustee Kimbell.
Yes.
Lieutenant Governor Kounalakis.
Aye.
Trustee Lopez.
Yes.
Trustee Molina Mancio.
Yes.
Trustee Ortiz Morfit.
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trustee Steinhauser.
Yes.
Superintendent Thurmond.
Aye.
Trustee Vargas.
Yes.
Trustee Yee Melikar.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Thank you. The items on the consent agenda, except for item 4 from the Committee of University Faculty and Personnel, have been approved. It has been requested by Trustee Fagan that item 4, the executive compensation for the president of Cal State Fullerton, be removed from the consent agenda. May I have a motion to approve the item?
So moved.
May I have a, thank
Second.
you. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, Ms. Corr, will you please take a roll call vote?
Trustee Adamson.
Yes.
Trustee Arambula.
Yes.
Trustee Brar.
Yes.
Trustee Clark.
Yes.
Trustee Fagan.
No.
Trustee Furstenberg.
Yes.
Chair Fong.
Yes.
Chancellor Garcia.
Yes.
Trustee Ghilarducci. Trustee Gilbert Lori.
Yes.
Trustee Kimbell.
No.
Lieutenant Governor Kounalakis.
Abstain.
Trustee Lopez.
Yes.
Trustee Molina Mancio.
Yes.
Trustee Ortiz Morfett.
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez.
No.
Trustee Steinhauser.
Yes.
Superintendent Thurmond. Trustee Vargas.
Yes.
Trustee Melikar.
No.
The motion passes.
Thank you. The item is approved. The board has 2 action items on the discussion agenda. Our first action item is the approval of the Board of Trustees Standing Committee assignments for 2024 through 2025. This item will be presented by Trustee Arambula, the Chair of the Committee on Committees. Trustee Arambula, please begin.
Thank you, Chair Fong. The Committee on Committees met on April 15th to review the proposed slate of committee assignments and committee chairs and vice chairs for 2024 to 2025. Board consultant and trustee emerita Roberta Achtenberg shared a brief background on the work of the board assessment that helped to inform and ultimately strengthen this process. The committee assignments were developed with appropriate consideration of trustees' preferences and in adherence with the criteria collectively identified and approved as listed in our governing rules. The committee unanimously approved the proposed standing committee assignments and recommends approval by the full board.
Thank you, Trustee Arambula. The approval of the Board of Trustees Standing Committee assignments for 2024 through 2025 is an action item before the board. Before we proceed with any questions or discussion on this item, may I have a motion to approve the item?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? I have a motion and a second. Ms. Corral, please take a roll call vote.
Trustee Adamson.
Yes.
Trustee Arambula.
Yes.
Trustee Brar.
Yes.
Trustee Vice Chair Clark.
Yes.
Trustee Fagan.
Yes.
Trustee Furstenberg.
Yes.
Chair Fong.
Yes.
Chancellor Garcia.
Yes.
Trustee Ghilarducci. Trustee Gilbert Lori.
Yes.
Trustee Kimbell.
Yes.
Lieutenant Governor Kounalakis.
Aye.
Trustee Lopez.
Yes.
Trustee Molina Mancio.
Yes.
Trustee Ortiz Morfett.
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trustee Steinhauser.
Yes.
Superintendent Thurmond.
Aye.
Trustee Vargas.
Yes.
Trustee Melikar.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Thank you. Our next action item is the election of the chair and vice chair of the Board of Trustees for 2024-2025. This item will once again be presented by Trustee Arambula, Chair of the Committee on Committees.
Thank you, Chair Fong. Also, at its April 15th meeting, the Committee on Committees unanimously approved the proposed resolution nominating Trustee Clark to serve as board chair and myself, Trustee Diego Arambula, to serve as board vice chair. I believe I speak for both of us, and certainly for myself, when I say I humbly accept these roles, and we do, as a demonstration of our unwavering commitment to the CSU mission, to our students. The committee recommends approval by the full board.
Thank you, Trustee Arambula. The approval of the election of the chair and vice chair of the Board of Trustees for 2024-2025 is an action item before the board. Before we proceed with any questions or discussion on this item, may I have a motion to approve the item?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? We have a motion and a second. Ms. Corral, please take a roll call vote.
Trustee Adamson.
Yes.
Trustee Arambula.
Yes.
Trustee Brar.
Yes.
Vice Chair Clark.
I think I should abstain.
Trustee Fagan.
Yes.
Trustee Furstenberg.
With thanks. Yes.
Chair Fong.
Absolutely yes.
Chancellor Garcia.
Loud yes.
Trustee Ghilarducci.
Yes.
Trustee Gilbert-Lori.
Yes, and I'll take Chair Clark's vote too, so I'll double yes.
Trustee Kimball.
Yes.
Lieutenant Governor Kounalakis.
Aye.
Trustee Lopez.
Yes.
Trustee Molina Mancio. Trustee Ortiz-Morfett.
Yes.
Trustee Rodriguez.
Yes.
Trustee Steinhauser.
Yes.
Superintendent Thurmond.
Aye.
Trustee Vargas.
Yes.
Trustee Melikar.
Yes.
The motion passes.
The item is approved. I want to add my enthusiastic congratulations to Trustees Clark and Trustee Arambula on their election, with excitement for all that their leadership will bring to the board and to the CSU. Chair-elect Clark, I can think of no one more worthy of this honor, and it is my privilege to pass the gavel to you. Would you please share a few brief words?
Thank you, Chair Fong. You used exactly the correct word, honor, but I would add another word, responsibility. And it's an honor that leaves me profoundly humbled and extremely grateful for your and the board's confidence and support in Diego and me. Please know that during my tenure, I'll do everything with my power and abilities to continue to earn and validate that confidence and support. During my first board meeting in July, I'll have a few words to say about my background and motivations to pursue this role, as well as my overarching priorities for my tenure. But for now, I prefer to focus on you, Chair Fong. Will you and Chancellor Garcia join me at the podium? Chair Fong, you've set an extremely high bar. You've led with tenacity, courage, and vision, and with a collaborative spirit and unwavering focus on the CSU's mission. In my decades of legal practice and community service, I've met many fine leaders, but none with your combination of personal and professional qualities and long list of achievements. Thank you for modeling such distinguished leadership for me and those who will follow. And I have the distinct honor of presenting you with the crystal gavel.
Ooh, gorgeous. Thank you so much.
Chancellor Garcia.
First of all, congratulations, Chair-elect Clark. Chair-elect Clark, congratulations, and congratulations, Trustee Arambula. And thank you both for continuing your legacy to serve our students in our state as board chair and vice chair. We are fortunate to have your distinguished leadership. Madam Chair Fong, it is now my honor to add to the giving of this amazing gavel to you, recognizing your courageous, gracious, elegant, and impactful service as chair of the California State University Board of Trustees, and as a role model for all those who have stood in admiration in your leadership. And I must say, as a role model, as a woman of color, really shattering the concrete ceiling that is here before us. Through your focus and diligent efforts, you have led our institution through a very turbulent era toward a new era of trust, transparency, collaboration, alignment, and stability, all in service to our wonderful university system and to our Golden State. And with uncompromising attention to equity, opportunity,
social justice for all. You have helped to advance the CSU's role as a national leader in inclusive excellence, an accomplishment that would no doubt make your parents and grandparents beam with pride. I hope that you will accept this token, this gavel, as a small token of our great appreciation for all you have done and of my personal gratitude for your remarkable support and friendship. Chair Fong, we'd love to take a picture with you, and then the podium is yours to share a few words.
Thank you. I think we should. Oh my gosh.
Of course she will. She's gonna pick the red and the yellow.
Thank you all for the tremendous honor of allowing me to serve as the chair during an extraordinarily challenging time in the history of the CSU. While I have been incredibly blessed with an amazing career as a producer, director, and creative executive in the entertainment industry, in fact, this year marks my 50th year anniversary. I have found my life's most meaningful work alongside all of you as a member of the CSU Board of Trustees. And as my tenure as chair nears its end, I firmly believe that the CSU is well positioned for success. Thanks to our work, our leadership is aligned and committed to collaboratively developing goals that we are ready to be more strategic and forward-focused in meeting the demands of our students and our state. And we are committed to solidifying the CSU's position as the nation's preeminent university system. Of course, much work is ahead of us, and I look forward to continuing my efforts alongside all of you to advance that work as a trustee. Whatever work I may have accomplished as chair, absolutely none of it would have been possible without my magnificent husband, Dan. I am forever grateful to Governor Brown for appointing me, and I am deeply grateful and honored that Governor Newsom has reappointed me for another 8 years. And to be able to continue this consequential and transformative work with my beloved trustees, our chancellor, our presidents, our vice chancellors, our office of the Board of Trustees, everyone in the chancellor's office, our advisors, consultants, partners, allies, and alumni, our faculty, our staff, our students. Thank you for last night's incredible tribute and the overwhelmingly generous, kind, and gracious accolades, along with the 3 amazing videos. I will cherish and hold those in my heart forever. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I could not let the culmination of 2 years as chair pass without producing something myself.
looking out at all of you, I see a sky full of stars.
Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. The CSU, the nation's largest four-year public university, produces graduates ready to join the workforce and power California's economy. Students have the opportunity to participate in immersive learning experiences that prepare them for success after graduation and leadership roles in their community. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. Hands-on coursework and faculty mentorship are especially important in the field of research. They promote scholarship and creativity among faculty and students. The CSU's 10 multi-campus consortiums provide participants with opportunities to address California's vital needs, including water. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. One agricultural consortium, for example, supports students and faculty adapting cropping systems to climate change. Other research consortiums include those focused on STEMnet, palliative care, biotechnology, marine and desert studies. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. 7 CSU campuses are recognized as doctoral high research institutions by the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education. Students benefit from high-level research, and the Carnegie Classification helps the university attract and retain top-tier faculty. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. The CSU, the nation's largest four-year public university, produces graduates ready to join the workforce and power California's economy. Students have the opportunity to participate in immersive learning experiences that prepare them for success after graduation and leadership roles in their community. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. Hands-on coursework and faculty mentorship are especially important in the field of research. They promote scholarship and creativity among faculty and students. The CSU's 10 multi-campus consortiums provide participants with opportunities to address California's vital needs, including water. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. One agricultural consortium, for example, supports students and faculty adapting cropping systems to climate change. Other research consortiums include those focused on STEMnet, palliative care, biotechnology, marine and desert studies. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. 7 CSU campuses are recognized as doctoral high research institutions by the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education. Students benefit from high-level research, and the Carnegie Classification helps the university attract and retain top-tier faculty. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. The CSU, the nation's largest four-year public university, produces graduates ready to join the workforce and power California's economy. Students have the opportunity to participate in immersive learning experiences that prepare them for success after graduation and leadership roles in their community. Welcome to the
scheduled board meeting. The board will reconvene on July 22nd through July 24th, 2024. Please note, this is a 3-day board meeting. Notice of the meeting will go out in the ordinary due course 10 days in advance of each meeting. This concludes the business of the May 2024 meeting of the Board of Trustees. Thank you so very much.
Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed. 7 CSU campuses are recognized as doctoral high research institutions by the Carnegie Classification of Institutions of Higher Education. Students benefit from high-level research, and the Carnegie Classification helps the university attract and retain top-tier faculty. Welcome to the live stream of the California State University Board of Trustees meeting. Please adjust your audio as needed.